I was 18, I was looking for a summer job, and there was a student militia program, which was, my program was run out by the Royal Regiment in Canada, and it was 6 or 8 weeks, and you did a basic military training, and I enjoyed it. And the following summer, I went back as a corporal instructor, and after that, I joined the Royal Regiment, which was a militia unit in Toronto. Now, the Royals had a allied regiment called the King's Regiment in England, and regiments seemed to link with one another in Australia and New Zealand and Britain and Canada. And the regiment we were linked with had fought in the War of 1812 in a number of the major battles, which was irony because I was later to join that particular regiment. So the history was there. And as I finished grade 13, I didn't get my grade 13 French, and all I wanted to do was see the world, as many countries as possible, and also didn't want to go through life without having been in the forces. And so I opted to go and join the British Army, where I did the basic training, and I did my officer's training, and was posted to our allied regiment. I joined up with them. They had just returned back from Kenya, and so we were in Chester in England for a few months. And then we got posted to Berlin. And the wall had just gone up 9 months earlier. And we did our normal garrison duties there. One thing that kind of tickled me in a way was that the American, French, and British troops that occupied Berlin at that time, and this was 1962, and we were still classified as occupation troops from the Second World War. And of course, the Second World War ended when I was 5. And so I kind of liked that historical link there. While I was in Berlin, the regiment had to send someone to teach skiing to the British troops in the Harz Mountains in West Germany. And I was chosen. I was never asked if I could ski, and I think probably in the colonel's mind it was a typical military decision. Barnes is a Canadian, therefore Barnes can ski, and therefore Barnes will go. And I went. And so we had 2 weeks with the German Alpine troops down in the Alps in Lower Germany. And that was a lot of fun. That was right in my element. We would be out all day skiing, and also teaching them how to live in the snow and sleep raw in the snow and make little shelters and such like that. So, and I'd done all that before I joined the Army, and so I was right at home. During that time, I caught jaundice, and I caught Hep A from very close living, and that was contributed apparently to my catching hepatitis. Anyways, they shipped me up to the British Military Hospital in Hanover, and I literally went in my ski clothes, and I was admitted, and I had nothing, just me, and in walks a nurse, British Army nurse, and later on she brought me her radio because I didn't have any entertainment. She brought me a medical textbook so I could read up on what was wrong with me. And eventually I got to marry her. So
I joined the British Army in 1960, started my nurse's training, traveled around a little bit where they sent me, Colchester in the UK, and another hospital, I can't remember the name. Eventually, I ended up in Hanover, Germany, And I was there for 2 whole years, during which time I met Michael with the jaundice, and we met a few times, finally married. And I came to Canada, and then we had 3 children. One good thing was our 2 sons were in the Air Cadets in the 70s and the early 80s. One of our sons joined the Royal Canadian Air Force, and he was a lieutenant colonel. And we see here at the Legion the Army cadets, and we think it's a wonderful program, paid for by the government, brings them up to be good citizens. They're clean. We like their nice fresh haircuts, and they're learning about the world.
In Berlin, we of course trained for the notion that the Russians would attack us, and so we had our little plans and fortifications and places that we were supposed to go if it all came to fruition. But meanwhile, we had garrison duties such as mounting the external guard on Spandau Prison, where there were 3 Nazi war criminals still housed. And I would go there with my platoon, and we would mount a guard for 24 hours. And I would go and visit my men in the towers that surrounded, on the wall surrounding the prison. And I would walk through the garden, and there would be Rudolf Hess, who was a deputy Führer at the time of Hitler, and von Schirach, and also Speer. And I would walk by them and say, "Guten Morgen," and never once did they ever acknowledge my presence. They were just little old men who were sort of holding to themselves. Another interesting duty we had was, of course, patrolling the wall, and we did that in armored cars. And we had a listening post in the old Reichstag, which was like the German Parliament building, and it was been destroyed by the Russians. And again, the sense of history. The Brandenburg Gate was the central area in our area, which we saw all the time, Potsdamer Platz. I find through the military experience that there's little links come up in life. As you go through life, you touch base with people who've had similar experiences, or even experiences that were close to or linked to regiments that you knew about, and so there's a continuity that runs through your life with this, and they're kind of like warm fuzzy moments, and they're quite nice actually.